Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum. Ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum. Ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum. Oh, can't you see? Boom boom. There's a bird on me. Boom boom. Oh, can't you see? Boom boom. There's a bird on me. Boom boom. I don't know if that stuff right there is poop or if it's pee, but I'm telling you, there's this bird on me. Boom 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 boom. Oh, can't you see? Boom 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 boom. There's a bird on me. Boom 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 boom. Oh, can't you see? Boom boom boom. There's a bird on me. I'm not sure if that stuff right there is poop or if it's pee, but there's this bird on me. Bum bum. It went just like that. You're not into it? Oh, come on. Oh, can't you see? Bum bum. There's a bird on me. Bum bum. Oh, woe is me. Bum bum. There's a bird on me. Bum bum. I can't tell if that stuff right there is poop or if it's pee, but there's a bird on me. La la. John D. Johnson's watching. Good morning, Charlotte. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Carrie Wright, my dear. Good morning, Commander Penny. Good morning, Eve Cunning, you rock star, my dear, who's watching. Good morning, Danielle Lakes and everyone else. I told MacVac this morning, don't turn the music on. I have this song in mind. Oh, can't you see? Bum, bum, there's a bird on me. Bum, bum. Oh, can't you see? Bum, bum, there's a bird on me. Bum, bum. I can't tell if that stuff right there is poop or if it's pee, but there's this bird on me. Bump. Just like that. MacVac, run the opener and get some music on up in this. Thanks. No, anything. I don't care. Just pick some music. This morning, boys and girls. Good morning, 7 of you who are here. Welcome to the Paint by Monster show. I got this drawing right here. And, I think I know the name of this drawing. The name of this drawing is Boring. This is a boring thing right here. I sing. All right, this alligator is what I did last night after Boys and Girls, as I told you. MacVac, would you turn that down just a little? Thank you. I did this yesterday evening, boys and girls, and this is just gouache and ink on paper. And this is an alligator open mic night, this thing. And, I put a little more time, but, I looked at it this morning and I thought, why I hate this? Because this is so boring. It's so predictably boring. And, that's the name of this. That's the name of this. Boring. This is boring right here. So, and sometimes, boys and girls, you're just going to make boring art. It happens. So, instead of finishing this up today, boys and girls, this was my idea. MacVac, this is a halfway home for broken-hearted souls. That's the music that you're bringing into that's what you got going on this morning. How can this be? Listen, I want you to please play some. So, boys and girls, today, here's what we're going to do. I got a bunch of Prismacolor pencils today, boys and girls. I'm just going to sit here and draw a bunch of pictures today, boys and girls. That's what I'm doing today. Thank you, stagehand. Would you please, MacVac, please get us some music that's different from this. But first of all, get us up and out of here, would you? Get us up into orbit. Come on. Thanks. Bring the boys and girls aboard. And all right, maybe it's growing on me. Nah, it changed my mind. Light this candle, release the talking cobras, and get us into orbit, shall you? Come on. Nice. All right. Boys and girls, again with the singing.
chasing unattainable. Who are you? I'm nobody too. We live without a paradigm, never found a sign. Many paths to choose, only myself to lose. This is no kindly destination.
Well, good morning, boys and girls.
You can't leave me like
Welcome to
this
Orbit.
without knowing
Matter of fact,
what it
move
is.
on,
You
please.
can't leave
Give me something
like
else.
this without
Thanks. Boys and girls, here's what I think I want to do this morning. On this Wednesday morning, I just want to doodle around and draw some pictures, you know? Like, yeah, all right, I did that alligator, and I thought, you know, that could have been so much more fun if it was just really simple. Imagine if that drawing would have had to have been, like, really fast for a, you know, Pictionary game, and make stuff tinier. Like that could have been sweeter, a lot sweeter. Plus, okay, he could have some fangs, that'd be nice. Who knows, who cares what his eyes are? He could have been in a tuxedo, boys and girls. And he could have been playing a classical guitar. And he could have been looking at sheet music. There's all kinds of stuff. This could have been a lot sweeter. Clothing. It's a fun idea to me, boys and girls, if this guy had to be kind of stiff. Tiny little bow tie. And it's in a tuxedo. Oh, obviously, he's going to be playing some kind of classical music. All right, that's nice. See, that would have been so much better had I done that. That's more interesting to me. Like this. Dun, 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 dun. Does the animal pants have a... Oh, you know, this could have a stripe up the side. So now, when he's not playing classical guitar, he's also one of the guys that delivers the pastries. Aboard ship. But he's got to have a really stiff... Oh, and it's these little buttons here. Yeah. See, that would have been so much nicer. I didn't do this at all yesterday. I did this. Like, look how boring this is. This is so boring. This... But this thing, I think I was tired. As I told you yesterday, boys and girls, I've been learning to use this three-dimensional program, 3D software called Blender, and it's, well, it's complicated and fun. And boys and girls, let me tell you something. When this thing hits 88 miles an hour, you are going to see some serious shit. That's what's going to happen. I don't really cuss on the show, not really. But I'm just telling you, boys and girls. Also, boys and girls, I have coffee with me this morning. Don't say that word to your mom and dad, boys and girls. You keep that just between us. If you're going to say that little tiny word of one syllable, you say that when you're alone in your room by yourselves. Don't say that out loud in front of your mom or your dad. And if you tell them that I said it when we were together, you're going to get me in trouble with them. And who wants that? So this is just shut your little hole, okay? Just shut up about it. Don't say anything. Just, can you do that? Can you just shut up about it? He's got a little dark little hands for him. Keep it really simple. Yeah, see, that would have been so much better. All right, there's doodle number one, but you know, I don't need to draw his chair or anything like that. Like that would have been, that was nice. The other thing, boys and girls, I've been thinking about an awful lot is one of the really important things when you're learning how to draw and thinking about, because, you know, boys and girls, when you're learning how to draw, some of the ways that you learn how to draw in several different ways, like not just one style. You'll learn how to construct things with these geometric solids, and you'll be able to spin these things around in space. Like, what if I'm looking at it from the bottom? What if it's shaped like this? You know, what? All right. And what about if it's not that at all? What if it's a sphere? What if it's a cone? What if it's, how about that? What if it's one of these donut kind of a things? So you'll learn how to draw like this, boys and girls. And one of the things that I love about drawing that is missing on a lot of the art show... MacVac, can we have some different music, please? This is really fun and rebellious and all, but can we have some... I don't know. All of a sudden, I guess maybe this does seem educational. How about something else? Okay. All right. So when you're learning to draw, boys and girls, like, you can use these geometric shapes like this. Jeremy Trammell is in the house. He can't stay. He's just into good vibes of love and kindness. Perhaps a watch party. Oh, Jeremy Trammell, bless you on your day. Good to see you. Glad you got to stop by for a second. I know you're going to win in your battles in the robots. Private Trammell is going to defeat the robots, boys and girls. They will bow to his they will submit to him. Because that is why they pay him. Anyway, boys and girls, one of the things I like about drawing that they don't tell you a lot in art school, because they don't really think about this, is that drawing is one of the ways of communication between engineers and the guys who fabricate, the guys who design things. When these guys have to tell what they want designed to the guys who are going to build the stuff. Wait a minute, you want me to build what now? We're going to do what? We're going to pressurize what? Wait a minute, that's going to send that thing supersonic. Do you understand the force? That's one of the ways that this guy communicates his idea to this guy is drawing pictures. The visual language comes into this relationship of communicating an idea from one person to another person. And I love that about drawing. Think how many times in the packaging of a drawing, like when you buy super glue, boys and girls, think of how many times there's a drawing of the glue bottle on the outside of the glue. You know, drawing, it comes into a lot of stuff, not just painting, not just art. That's one of the reasons why I want you to learn how to draw, boys and girls, because the moment that you can put a visual idea down, the moment you can describe something in space for someone, you can communicate ideas that, well, as they say, boys and girls, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can communicate visual ideas to someone else. This is a really powerful, magical skill that you can learn, boys and girls. Drawing like this, these little shapes. If you know these things, and you know, you'll probably study how the human body looks and how a superhero looks when he's gonna sort of running full tilt here for a second, you know, or flying like this with his fists. I don't know why Superman, I have no idea why Superman didn't fly just straight standing up.
Why didn't Superman fly standing up? Obviously, aerodynamics is not a part of what's going on here with Superman. Bump, 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 bump. He's got that chin that sticks out. Clark does. Clark is this giant meatball of a man. Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. Anyway, boys and girls, it's hard for me these days to sort of stick with one form language because after I learned how to draw in this kind of a way, boys and girls, this kind of geometric shapes sort of a way, which is good to say, here's a bucket, or here's a paint can, or here's something that looks like this. Also, boys and girls, it's fun to sort of draw spaceships with this kind of form language. Or a toaster. A spaceship and a toaster, boys and girls, is the same thing. Or a trailer. This is a trailer here. You're just sort of cutting up space and adding little stuff. Maybe it does this. Maybe it does this. Maybe it does this. Maybe there's some sort of a fin right here on this thing. Alright, and now all of a sudden it's a shuttlecraft from Star Trek because I put nacelles on the sides of it like this. But maybe it's not exactly one of those because now it's a Winnebago for outer space. It's a recreational vehicle so that you can go to Mars for the weekend and hang out there and drink the little Martian drinks that come with. They're always red. All Martian cocktails, they're all red. And mostly, all of the rims of all the Martian cocktails are sanded. This is sand because it's all red sand. And what a Martian let's see. It's a straw. You don't put your mouth on this part here because it's sand. Anyway, the little form languages. Charlotte says, Launchpad tried to reach my hand when I help it out. That's nice. Anyway, maybe there's portholes down the side of this. That would have been so much more interesting had I done this. But I didn't do this. Anyway. I just wanted to sit here and draw a bunch of pictures with you today, boys and girls. I've been thinking about gravity this morning. I've been thinking about this common experience that you and I have wherever you are on the globe. One of the cool things about Paint by Monster is that lots of different people are watching at different times. But the common experience that the mass, the sphere of the Earth is heavy enough to warp space-time so that we fall towards the center always. You experience gravity at the exact same moment in the same way that I experience gravity. Why is that important, Easel Monster? Well, because when you start drawing things, especially for animation, of things like bouncing through, you have to have an understanding that it's the center of gravity in the Earth that's pulling this thing. So all of your squash and stretch is going to be based on how you understand gravity to go. The boing right here in the center. Your boing, boys and girls. If you want your boing, the boingiest that it can possibly be boinged, you need to understand gravity. The boinginess of gravity, boys and girls. Zump, bump, bump. You need to... That is such a good word. Go look this up. Google this word. Boinginess. Boinginess. You must understand the boinginess of gravity. If you want to draw a rubber ball really well, boys and girls. Also, the fantastically talented and maybe the finest animator of all time, this guy's name was Milt Kahl. Google him, boys and girls, Milt Kahl. This guy is the guy who did all of the animation on Walt Disney's That Tiger, Shere Khan. Whatever that dude looked like, he had those sort of sideways eyes. Shere Khan did. He was so terrifying. And he was gigantic, just huge. Right? Anyway. Milt said, tigers have those tiny eyes and they're ferocious. Ferocious. Milt said he knew where every ounce of meat was, every single frame that he was drawing. That was his way of thinking of animation. How much meat is on the frame right now? Meat. Yeah. He was somebody. He really, really could draw. Shere Khan. How much meat? I've said this before, boys and girls. I mean, drawing might be the thing that you're after, a really fantastic drawing. But I don't just love drawing because you can communicate something really, really well. That eye up there, looking up like this, that is so fantastic. That, here we go, this thing right here. This tiger, you can tell, this tiger is thinking, baby, he's thinking. Yeah. Charlotte says, gravity, it's not just a good idea, it's the law. Charlotte, that is a fantastic joke. Gravity, things falling into the middle. But we also know, boys and girls, that it doesn't, you know, with machines, you can break free of this force. This force doesn't go up very high. You can break free of the Earth's gravitational field. And then, weightless. I was thinking about, you know, a weightless duck. Why would a weightless duck not just float upside down? Because for the first time, he sort of can. Look at here. Look what I'm doing. You guys ain't even seen nothing yet. All my life I've wanted to float this way. All my life. And now, because we're weightless, I can just relax, enjoy my cocktail. Ha ha! Take a look at this, ducks who can't afford it. Ha ha, ducks who can't afford space travel. Look at this. Look at what I'm doing. Now, what's funny, though, is if he's got a little cocktail like this, you know, we'll make it a martini, boys and girls. Because how is he going to drink this? This is, if you're ever in a space helmet, boys and girls, and at a cocktail party at the same time, it's all for show because you can't drink that. You cannot possibly drink the drink. It's all a big show. That's what's happening. It's not real for you at all. It's Paint by Monster. That's what this is. It's great to have 10 of you with me. Take that, all of you lesser ducks. Dun, 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 dun. What is this dude thinking about? What is he thinking? In his way, this dude seems like Mufasa to me. Yeah, this could be worked into an evening series. I'm pretty sure. Tigers and ducks. You know, ducks have always sort of had that sort of selfishness about them. Why is this? Like, all of Daffy Duck's shtick and all of Donald Duck's shtick really was just sort of pooping on other people. The whole time, I don't know why ducks sort of have that. They're funny. Like chickens. Chickens are also just hilarious creatures for whatever reason. There's a funniness to some animals that's inescapable. To some people, anyway. Let's draw some more stuff. Let's draw some more spaceships. We haven't done that yet on the show. Drawing spaceships. You know, it could be cool, like, you know, maybe something like a jet. with something in the back like this, like this, like this. And the wingspan, maybe it has a compartment up here like this, like this. Like this, like this, like this, right? Something like this. And how, you know, there's a duck spaceship right there. How imposing do you want this thing to be up here? Like it could be some kind of a freighter. Like this. If you make this big a big cargo bay as a freighter, how big are the engines? And what, like, the bigger the engines, the bigger the job this thing must be doing. So if we give this thing massive engines, just ridiculous engines, like pod racing. Have you seen his engines? He's got the biggest engines. Have you seen her engines? Yeah, have you seen her engines? Ooh. Like this, just boom, right straight out in space. Wah, 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 wah. So, boys and girls, gesture drawing. Gesture drawing is like this, boys and girls. Instead of using the shapes to draw, you're finding the form as you go. You're sort of finding where it is, okay? Now you have to have drawn some to sort of know how to do it out of your head, because I'm still sort of gesture drawing a form language out of my head. But because I now draw mostly like this when I flesh out a form or a figure, I rarely anymore will make all of those little breaks like you should make the little breaks. Like, put his head forward, like he's really paying attention to something. It's boring. It's boring, you say? Wait a minute. I thought this was heroic stuff that was going on here. No, it's boring. You're just, Chad, we're going to have to cancel your show and fire you. It's boring. But wait, I lifted all of those weights. I learned how to pronounce warp core breach. What do you mean I'm out of a job? I'm sorry, Chad. Maybe next time. Dang it! Dang it! But one of the things I think they don't think about oftentimes in the show is, like, think about planetary gravity. How big the Earth has to be to produce gravity to start with, okay? But people walk around spaceships as if producing gravity on their deck plating is just nothing. So I think the smarter thing would always be to design the ships like, so that you can take advantage of centrifugal force and house your people inside of this, well, it's sort of a plexiglass donut shape, like this, like this, like this, over to the other side, so that some of this is living quarters and greenhouse space, with a central core that runs through the center of a successive amount of, there could be bridges here to these other components, but so that this thing can be turning all the time, boys and girls, so that when you're on this surface right here, if this thing is turning fast enough, you'll feel the effects of gravity, right? Centrifugal force will double for gravity here if this thing spins fast enough. But it'll be weird because navigationally, you'll be traveling you can travel in any direction, I suppose. But that's another thing, I suppose. We should put another set of, how do the thrusters work on this thing? I don't know. Maybe it's a gyroscope. I don't know. Starship design, as if it were possible. But you know what? This kind of a thing, it's always going to look like sort of a toilet brush flying through space. It's never going to be super duper cool like this, with this, with this, with this, with this, with some of these, with some of this, that are just out of scale enough to make the whole thing sort of intimidating. This You can fly through space and have adventures in a toilet bowl brush. Or you can fly through space with weapon systems and shields and Klingons and guys with antennas and green women that will hand you little bit drinks and beverages. I'm going with this one. I just gotta say, I'm going with this one. I'm a big Star Trek fan. Also, boys and girls, not only am I going with this one, there are times I want the villains to have these super duper imposing starship kind of things. I want Imperial Star Destroyers. Not the Disney kind either, boys and girls. I want the real deal. Because, boys and girls, let's just get this really, really straight. Now and forever, boys and girls. I believe this. I know this. I was there. This is truth. This is gospel. Right here, boys and girls. Right here. Right here. That travesty and aberrance that had visited upon us by George Lucas, that was the re-release of the Star Wars films, is not canon, boys and girls. It's a fiction. It's not true. I will get on my soapbox, boys and girls, at 11:35. It's 11:31. See there? Plus I'll lie to you. Just like George Lucas would lie to you. There it is, boys and girls. You see it. I'm telling you. It's true. I was there. I saw it with my own monster eyes. Over 77 times in the theater by myself. Not always by myself, but sometimes by myself. Sometimes by myself. In fact, one of the times on the old Paint by Monsters, I showed my hometown theater of Muncie, Indiana, showing this for $1. All seats $1, Star Wars. Ugh. I have always loved drawing spaceships. Like that X-Wing fighter was a super duper idea of one of those cool, super cool spaceships. We're not going to meet up with the others, R2. We're going to the Dagobah system. No, that's all right. I'll drive for a while. R2-D2 is one of MacVac's personal heroes. They had these things. They had these nice weirdo things on the ends like this. Just like this. Like this. Oh, like this. Sorry. Like this. Like this. And these back here, these thrusters. X-Wing fighters. Man, they were cool. They had that little divot right there, too. They were so great. We had never seen anything like this before. Never. Super cool. And drawing, concept drawing especially, was a really important part of storytelling. It always has been. Bum, 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 bum. Charlotte says the ship that looks like a pizza cutter. You know, the Enterprise does look like a pizza cutter, Charlotte. And may I say, that is a fine idea for a starship design. Something like this. Sir, the pizza cutter section is under attack. Damn it, man. And here's the thruster back here. Yeah, just like this. Flying through space. Here's the bridge right here. Like this, like this. And you know this thing has to be called the cutter. That's the name of this. It's on the nose humor this morning, boys and girls. The Cutter. Dun, 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 dun. These could be the first people. This could be the. Yeah, there's a whole subculture going on here. I believe this. The Cutter as the starship. Just flying around out there in space. How fast can this thing go? How fast does this thing cut through space? Sir, thank you, Charlotte, for this one. This is Charlotte's idea. Charlotte's starship right here. There it is. Just like that. Man the cheese cannons, Lieutenant. Sir. The pepperoni torpedoes are offline. Damn it, man. We need them. We're going to have an oven core breach in 10 seconds if you can't repair that pepperoni shooter. Ach, Captain, I'm trying. One. Thanks, Charlotte, for that. This is boring, boys and girls. It's just boring. This is boring. Come on. I think this thing right here, it's just boring to me. But this little guy right here, just at his little party, hey, you guys. Now it looks like perhaps he's inside of a big glass bubble. And voila, there I was. Just like that. Now you could make it really funny and do this. I mean, the moment you do this, boys and girls, this is sort of like the six-finger rule. You have given your editor a reason to reject the work the moment you put a butthole on the duck. The moment you do this, it's, your editor is going to go, can we lose the butthole on the duck? And you go, the butthole is part of the charm, sir. This meeting is over. Get out of my office now. Butthole, sir. Butthole. Buttholes, boys and girls. They've always been funny. Plus, it's repeat with variation, because this guy is a butthole. We know this about him. We should give him a smarter look. Here, this is better. Those other ducks used to talk a lot of smack about me. But now that the Earth is being destroyed and only two of us apiece are going to get to go. Take that, other ducks. Now that the Earth is going to be destroyed and all. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to miss those other things. I'm going to miss Earth. I'm really going to miss it there. Unless this new place has some Earth-like things going on, like it's going to need to have some really tall trees that I can lick. If there's no tree licking, I'm going to have my issues with the new place. Because I can't conceive of life without this tree licking. I need it. It's going to have to look, this helmet's going to have to come right straight off. And I'm going to need to put my tongue on some plants. No, it's not really. It's more than just a salad. I'm actually licking the bark of the tree also. Plus, all of my spit is involved in my teeth, and I just bite these trees, and I just chew on the trees. This new place is gonna have to have some of that. I gotta do my tree biting. If I don't get enough tree biting, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die. Oh, I hear you, brother. I feel the same way about gin and tonics. These martinis are fine for space, but once we get there, I'm gonna have to have the good stuff, or I am not gonna make it. Whew, me too. Shooey. Plus, these olives, all the olives on this ship have tasted stale. Have you noticed that? Like, the view is spectacular. Outside. You can see that the earth, you can see that it's not going to make it from right here, from this vantage point. You can see. You know, I'm so glad we're up here in this place. Oh no. Have they told you where we're going yet? This would all have to be black in here if it were all space. You could play with the glass right here. See, all of a sudden there's sort of story going on here. Imagine a giraffe, a weightless giraffe. You know, his leg could be clear up here, because why not? They say the moment we hit warp speed, we can take these helmets off because we won't need them anymore. Because we'll be in an energy state and oxygen won't mean anything anymore. And the giraffe says, "What is oxygen? I need to lick some trees. Have you not been listening? I am consumed with the pattern of my own need. I'm an animal, damn you, sir. Do you not understand this? Forgive me. You see I've been drinking, right? You see it. Zump bum 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 bum. 11:42. Floating ducks. Would just for nostalgia, would the duck ever sort of decide that he's going to float through space like this? Is he ever gonna be this? Like, probably he's gonna curl his little web feet up at night like this and just float. Maybe he's twitchy with this one. Maybe he's got restless flipper syndrome. And so this one just flaps and flaps back and forth while he's sleeping. So maybe the whole time he's sleeping, he sort of spins like this. Because of his one little flipper. That sort of constantly moves his geometry about the room. Just sort of flippity flips. Just flips him over. Woo, like this. Weightless ducks. Let's see. Charlotte says, maybe I'm still waiting for the okay for friends to come over. Or is that asking too much? Friends to come over. Can my friends come over? These days, boys and girls, here's the question. Do you have enough space helmets? Do you have enough space helmets? You know, one day we should have an outside of the cabin adventure, boys and girls. Commander Penny and I, and you. This is why I want to learn Blender, boys and girls. Because, you know, I want to start this show by showing you what it's like for me to be standing here on the bridge in all of my furry glory. With my back spinities in all of their glory. Here I am, standing here, waiting to go into orbit with all of you boys and girls. Like this. With my little claws and my little shorts. Like this. And maybe, I think at first, there's no Commander Penny there. It's just you and me on the bridge, me by myself, on the bridge. Looking out the front view screen and out at the west of Muncie, Indiana, because that's where the show starts, but like it's just clouds. There's a neighborhood down here, but we're high above the neighborhood, boys and girls. And you know, the command desk, which is back here. And I think I want and I think maybe this should say art. The very first and the final frontier. Because, boys and girls, I like the Star Trek reference of the line, but more importantly than that, as we have discussed in the past, I believe this, boys and girls, art requires an artist, and I believe there is one in the case of the universe. I believe the information there is structured, and I believe that structure requires existence prior to chaos, because chaos doesn't move in the direction of structure. So information requires a sender. I believe art is the very first and the very last frontier. Expressing oneself outwardly into the something else. It's a way that we're made in the image of the very first person who did this. I believe that. Art. The very first and the very final frontier. These are the visits of Paint by Monster. And then Commander Penny can walk in, but maybe MacVac rolls up. Maybe DJ MacVac rolls right on up here. By the way, Blender is going to allow DJ MacVac to do some things that he had no idea he was ever going to do. Anyway, zump bump 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 bump. Drawing to communicate things. I take little notes to myself about stuff that I'm doing on the show. How do you save information for yourself? What does your drawing language look like? My doodly, sketchy language doesn't look very polished or finished because when it's ideas like this, you don't need it to. You know? Just like Commander Penny this could be Commander Penny right there. In a doodle, that's enough to give me an idea of, oh yeah, Penny's in the shot. Right? Which is fun. It's fun to have drawing at your fingertips to be able to tell someone your ideas or save your ideas for your own self. I highly recommend having under your fingertips some way to say, here's how I think about the space. Now, an old way to think about carving up the space like this, boys and girls, was called... well, you can think about drawing something dimensionally in a couple of different ways. If you want to draw it in perspective, boys and girls, perspective drawing is based on this idea. Here's the place where the ground and the sky meet one another, the horizon line. And all geometric solids have a relationship to the horizon line. If it's 1 point perspective, people will draw all of their stuff so that the lines converge down to this point. You can do it with a ruler if you want to, or a straight edge, or whatever. But they make all the surfaces, all the windows, all have to be at this sort of line, right? Perspective drawing. Now, the problem is, what do you do with this line? But this line's up for grabs. If you want it to disappear at another point over here, that's 2-point perspective. Sometimes, though, you'll see people just square these things off and do this with them. Usually things look clunky like this, but it has this... These things are coming at you, okay? If you make this like this. What you won't ever see is, unless this is like a blade coming at you, like an axe blade would be angled up sharper like this. So this lines up for grabs, but if you're drawing in perspective something that is parallel to the line, it's going to go like this, right? And there's a whole formula for it. Well, what if there's phone poles over here, Easel Monster? What if there's a utility pole here, and there's a bunch of them disappearing into the horizon line? How many? Well, there's a whole, you do this, and then you go parallel to that, and then you go drop that and parallel to that, and drop that. That's how you do it. It's a parallel line system to figure that thing out. And then you can just droop these lines over this, disappearing under the horizon line. If it's a UFO, here, coming down to, you know, check out the cows, and maybe have a cocktail or two here. This is above the, maybe it's got lights just blasting, plus really good jazz blasting, maybe. That's what I saw, officer. That's what I saw. I saw it too. Who are we going to tell? I'm not telling anybody. Are you nuts? I'm not saying a word. There he is. He'd be running away. He lost his smoky hat. I saw something. I'm not going to say what I saw. I'm a trained observer, though. No, it wasn't from around here. There's no way that thing... It's not from around here. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what that thing was. But it was weird. Zump, bump, 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 zump. So usually, boys and girls, you learn this rules of perspective. They're fun to know. Christy said, I just see Christy's comment. Thank you, Christy, for that comment, that you love teaching perspective. It's fun to know. But boys and girls, cartooning is always a visual shorthand language. And so oftentimes, I know these things, but I exaggerate the things that I also know. Like, I like exaggerating the horizon line. Instead of being a straight line, I always like it being a curved line because it simulates the curvature of the Earth. It exaggerates the curvature of the Earth as if we live on the moon or a smaller asteroid rather than, a flat anything. But floating high above the Earth, as we are. Our generation of gravity, boys and girls, our generation of gravity comes from it's actually the interplay of the... Hang on, boys and girls, I'm drawing. All right, it's the interplay of the graphene deck plating along with the... we have the 3 engines drive the ship, boys and girls, as I've told you. It's just a microwave pattern that the ship just sort of falls upward into. The ship is always falling up to a stabilized level. And the stabilization comes from the 3rd microwave generator. So that's how we're defeating gravity. The ship is falling upward. That's how that's happening. But there's an interaction between the deck plating and the graphene of the deck plating and the electromagnetic spectrum so that when we're walking around here on the... Now you'll know. Here it was today, if you're with me. Today. I learned the name of Easel Monster's ship today, oh my goodness. He told me the name of the ship. Wow. Here on the God Zeppelin. This is the name of the ship. The God Zeppelin. Oh my goodness, Easel Monster, you just spoiled it. I didn't spoil anything. Just wait. Anyway, here on the ship, The graphene of the deck plating, boys and girls, interacts with the electromagnetic spectrum and keeps us adhered to the deck plating as if gravity were in full effect. But there's no gravity. There's no gravity here. We're in space. Bum 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 bum. But coming soon, boys and girls, we're gonna do some. I have some ideas. I have some ideas of encountering some art monsters. I have some ideas of encountering some monsters that it will require art to defeat. And that's sort of what I'm thinking about here. I think that would be a really fun idea. Requiring art to defeat a problem. Because art defeats problems sometimes, boys and girls, and the problem that it defeats is often the clarity of the information. You know, a drawing can say things that words can't. That's why it's part of the communication package between engineers and fabricators. Welders and engineers have this great long, thanks for that joke, Charlotte. That's really funny. Welders and engineers, boys and girls, have a long-standing relationship with drawing so that one guy can understand the other guy. This is what I want it to do, says the engineer. This is how I think the build ought to go. And the guy who has to fabricate it goes, oh, I get it now. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Chad, you're fired. What? But I was acting so good. Did you see me act? That one week when we had Kelsey Grammer on as a guest star, he even glanced at me. Kelsey Grammer actually glanced at me. I'm so talented and handsome. Sorry, Chad, you're fired. Those other ducks. Those ducks that can't afford that space travel, man. This is bum 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 bum. This has been our Tuesday visit, boys and girls. Let's do some face-to-face time here. That's a nice thing to leave on the screen. That's a nice little alligator too in Superman. Dun dun dun. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look. Up in the sky. It's a bird. No, it's a plane. It's Superman. Yes. It's Superman, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers. Bend steel in his bare hands. And who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. How about that, Commander Penny? That was an entire time devoted to drawing and talking about drawing and gravity and just sort of goofing off. This has been our visit today. Thanks all 6 of you for being here with me. Thanks everybody always for being here with me. I love coming and doing the show. I look forward to being here with all of you every single time we're together. Speaking of which, the next time we're together is going to be tomorrow evening at 8. You good with that, buddy? We will come back up into orbit. And hey, MacVac, do me a favor. Cancel that music. Just turn it off. Thanks. All right. Goes like this. Boom, bum, boom, bum, boom, bum, bum. Hey, can't you see? Bum, bum. There's a bird on me. Bum, bum. Oh, woe is me. Bum, bum. There's a bird on me. Bum, bum. I can't tell if that stuff on me is poop or if it's pee, but I'm telling you, there's this bird on me. Pop. See you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Bye. You got anything? Me too. Bye. And, matter of fact, give him the big shot again.
and bye. See you.